Hey everybody, Bernakevitch here with All Points Design. That's allpointsdesign.ca. And today we're talking about the Oregon State University permaculture template, specifically the base map and putting it all together. So you've spent a few hours putting your base map together, and trust me, it takes a long time. Doing this professionally, it can take a long time, and there's always additions and subtractions and things you missed, and it's just part of it. I usually do most of my base maps with pen and paper, just to kind of get a sense of the site. I do this now digitally with a graphic tablet and a pencil, but it's exactly the same. And I still print out base maps and draw with pencil and pen just because it's so visceral, and you get a lot of mileage with the pen and paper. In this situation, as we finish, there's three major aspects that we're trying to collect. We're trying to get the base map itself. We're trying to get a base map in Grayscale, which is optional but highly recommended, and a base map with an underlayer and overlay of the aerial, which again is highly recommended. Now, I've been following along in the tutorials. You'll be in the right place to be able to do this really easily. So here we have the base map. This is exactly what we want. We have everything with our legend. Everything is put together. I have a really good sense of the space. I even have the road down here, so I'm really aware of what's going on. We've got the neighbors over there. I haven't done anything over there because it's the neighbors, it's not the design site. And now I'm trying to get from there to a grayscale map. Now, if you remember before, we had a conversation about how to turn an image into a grayscale image. So what I did is I made an entire copy of my slideshow. And then in this new slideshow, I went into edit. So this is the copy, and I went and edited the master. And I took out the little name tag, and I took out the page number sign. Now with those two things gone, now I've got a blank slate. And then what I did is I took just the elements that we see now, and as I've done before, file, download PNG image. Once I had that image, and we'll do this all together here. So once I had that image, I'm just going to get rid of everything here because this is already downloaded. I'm going to pull up this image and drag it on here. Now I've got this image of what I'm looking for. I'm going to make sure it's the right size. Make sure it's the right size and fills up the entire page. There we go. So now it's indistinguishable from the real thing. So if we go from here to here, yep, exactly what I want it to be. Now what we do is we click on that image because this is now an image. I can't touch any of these elements. Again, go right click, format options, come up on the right hand side or format options at the top, down to recolor, and then go light. Now I've got this amazing recolor. Now it's a little tall because I want to get rid of that base map. So all I got to do is double click it, and you'll get these black lines and these black adjustment bars. And I'm going to pull it down as close to legend as possible. This now gives me just the image itself in black and white, as we see here. So with this image, I then copy this image, bring it back over into my active slideshow, file, or pardon me, slide, edit master, go all the way down, get a new slide at the bottom and paste it in. Now I have a grayscale. Rename it as I've done here, Bernakevitch Basemap Grayscale 1, press OK. Now, when I'm going to get out of this and go back to my slideshow, the next thing I'm trying to make is a base map with this grayscale on it. So all I have to do now is go down to my grayscale template slide. I'm going to copy and paste just to make sure I don't mess it up. It's always nice to have a duplicate. I'm going to highlight everything and delete it. That feels really good. And delete this and delete this. And I'm not crazy how the title looks here. I'd rather it be the same as everything else. So base map, grayscale. And here's the beauty of doing this as a base slide, because you probably use this in your microclimate or in your your zone slide or sector slide. I can drop that directly in. Fantastic. Now I've got that and I can look at that and I can work at that. And the great thing is, on top of this, let's say we're doing sectors coming up, I can go to my shape tool or my polyline tool, and I can say, great, there's a little microclimate right here. And that'll be over top of that map. So that's the grayscale. And then finally, the last one we're trying to make is the base map overlay or the aerial overlay. And because we've said overlays, we're just trying to say what might be the overlay. So I'm going to put in here base map aerial overlay. And I'm going to draw this a little closer. And again, I'm going to delete everything else on this slide. And now what I'm going to do is, actually, it might just be easier for me to take this, come up here, copy, paste. So now I've got another one of these slides. And actually, I want the one that's got the property line on it instead, actually. So I'm just going to come up here, aerial image, make this a little bigger. And because I've already done this in the backdrop, I can change the layout here, apply layout, and go to my aerial image. And voila, I now have the aerial image beneath as well. So now I've got everything I need. I'll draw this up here. I've got my base map. I've got my base map. I've got my base map grayscale, and I've got my base map aerial image. And that will set you up really well for the rest of the course. We'll see you in the next tutorial.